Hi everybody, my name is Michael Bunker. I'm an author, a off-grid farmer. I live off-grid and work off-grid, although my office down here right now, the reason I'm able to record this is because I have solar power down here at the office. And I've put out several novels. Some of them have done quite well. And recently I had a friend ask me why I didn't use Patreon, which was a service that allows you to gain subscribers to support your art. I told him I'd looked into it for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and that I was a little bit skeptical about using it for, or justifying using it for an author who writes novels. And so I had rejected doing it. And then the other day, another friend asked me if I was a big fan of Alexander Pushkin, which I am. I'm a big fan of Russian literature. And so I started thinking about that, and I realized that so many great books, in fact, most of the greatest books in history were actually written in a serialized way and released through magazines. Great books like Farewell to Arms, Madame Bovary, Count of Monte Cristo, Three Musketeers. You could just go down the list. Some of the greatest authors in history, Harriet Beecher Stowe, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Henry James, Hemingway. Most of them released books serially in magazines. And so as I began to think of that, I also started to think about a lot of the reasons that some of the literature that's coming out right now isn't that great. And there's a few reasons for that I talk about on my blog and on my website. But one of the reasons is that authors are being forced to really target their writing towards a social media audience that is used to getting things in 144 bits rather than the way that literature used to be written. And so I have written some books that I've released serially. Pennsylvania, my most popular book, was released serially. And that book, the full novel, was picked up by a Hollywood producer. They bought the option for making it into a film or a TV program. A friend of mine named Chris Awalt and I wrote a series called Wick, and we released it in 4 sections, and eventually came out with the full novel, which is kind of a Russian style novel, and it did very well as well, but even that format wasn't perfect for what I really wanted to do. So as I started to think about it, I was asking myself, what if I could actually create a novel the way that I want to write it, without these artificial mechanisms designed to keep readers, like get them right at the very beginning. You got to have your protagonist, your antagonist within the first 10 pages. You have to have cliffhangers at the end of every section. And that's not really what I wanted to use as a tool to write this book. So I'm going to be writing a book called Hell in the Sea. The long version of the title is Hell in the Sea or Never Full. A literary novel. I'll be talking more about it here on this location as it goes. I'll be releasing the first chapter after the 1st of June. And I'm going to release a chapter a month, at least a chapter a month. It could be more. And I'm asking you, if you are interested, to go ahead and sign up. And for as little as $1 a month, you get the whole novel, a chapter at a time. And you, of course, you can get higher amounts if you want to get more perks. And there's some pretty neat stuff on there. So check it out. Very glad to be able to do this, and I hope that it's something that people really like, and it's a new old way to deliver good content that I think people are really going to enjoy. So thank you very much, and I'll be talking to you soon.